Good morning. Welcome to a pre-market review session with the Market Trader. My name is Ray, Market Trader. And before we begin, we'll go ahead and review our risk disclosure. Okay, just want to remind everyone. Hopefully, this is visible to everyone here. Yeah. Okay. Just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published by the Market Trader is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees and contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of this information. We all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation and offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, we're going to go ahead and move into the news here. Kind of take a look at the news and see what the news has to offer here. So we'll go ahead and open that up. Financial news. There it is. Okay. So what do we have in news today? Well, with the biggest news events are related to oil. Okay, so we have an OPEC monthly report that probably reported here in the last 45 minutes or so. And then we have later today, we have the inventory report, the crude oil inventory report, a weekly event that's going to take place today at 10:30 Eastern time. Okay. And then outside of that, we have some Fed members speaking throughout the day. But the main events today, I would have to say, is the related to oil. So those folks who trade oil need to be well aware of, especially the inventory report coming up here at 10:30 a.m. Looking ahead, we have a good amount of news tomorrow. Okay, we have the PPI report. We have the initial jobless claims. These reports could very well move the markets. And then we close out the week with housing, imports, building permits. Those could also move the market. So I would say relatively light in the way of news outside of those folks who trade crude oil. Relatively light in the way of news today, but we are coming into week's end that with a good amount of news that could move the markets here. All right. So now that we've gotten a little bit of a review here of the news, well, we'll go ahead and move into the markets. Okay. So let's go ahead and we'll move into, let's see right there. All right. We're going to go ahead and okay. We're going to go ahead and start off with the gold market. The market is already technically open, but we'll go ahead and start with the gold. We're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart and kind of move our way down here. So you can see here that we've actually started the day breaking some consolidation areas that we've identified earlier, indicating that maybe that this might be at the beginnings of a market shift or a market sentiment shift in the gold market. Okay. So we had talked earlier about this 3,200 level. Okay. 3,200 level being an important level here. We're going to go ahead and mark that area in green. Okay. This area right here, this area marked in green. All right, indicating that this was a very supportive area over the last few months. Okay, last month. Okay, this 3,200 level. Now we are exploring below it. Okay, I don't know. Maybe as a result of some of the positive news that we received on the tariffs. In any case, the idea here is that folks have started to believe that maybe the tariffs are not going to be as impactful as they have been up till now. Some positive negotiations with some countries, including China. So that has maybe directed some of the funds away from an area of safety to maybe markets like the equities. Okay. So we're starting to see maybe a little bit of a change in sentiment in this market. We do see that we have a developing bearish candle below an area of importance, which could lead to further moves, maybe as low as 3,000 in this market. Okay. I see if we do close below this, that it could provide a clear path to prices down to the 3,000 level. Okay. Moving into the 4-hour chart. Okay. 4-hour chart here. We'll go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance range here for a moment. Okay, and then take a look here. So you can see that we had a gap down, okay, to start the week. And we've actually been below our anchored VWAP and our daily VWAP since then. Okay, so the market is indeed showing signs of weakness. Okay, showing signs that the path of least resistance is potentially lower. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart here. We can take a look here and see, again, we're starting to see some breaks of structure. We've broken below 32.31. We've broken below 32.25. And now we've broken a daily level, okay, here at 3,200. Okay. So all signs are indicating that maybe there is further downside in this market. Okay. So taking a look, we'll go ahead and first open up the initial balance range, not for Asia, but for the regular trading session here. We'll go ahead and do that. Move this to the regular trading session. And you can see that the market has created a little bit of a wide initial balance, I would say, for now. But this is the first 30-minute bar. We have yet another 30-minute bar to establish the range here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile, get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's price action here. So we're going to go ahead and drag that across here to the close of Tuesday here. Okay. And you can see that price is well below value from yesterday, indicating that there may be, indicating that there's a fair amount of bears in the market, okay, that are willing to pay a premium, all right, to be a part of that bearish market, okay? So we're going to go ahead and identify this level here, this value area, because this level should be resistant, okay, and the next time it does come back to it. So I would expect that this level here at 32.42 could be a resistant level for further price action to the downside. Okay, so that level is marked. Okay, now it is a relatively wide initial balance range, so we need to be careful on any sort of IB extension or initial balance extension trades today because of the fact that we have a wide range. Now the market has indeed shown, and because it is a break of daily levels, that could generate quite a bit of interest in the gold to the downside. Okay, so we definitely need to be aware of that. But I would say that our focus should be on extreme levels of initial balance. Not so much that we expect a large extension, since we've already kind of had a pretty good extension from 32.42 down to 3,200 in this market. Okay. So let's see. One last thing I want to add to this chart, and that is the anchored VWAP. Okay. And all right, guys, I apologize for that little interruption here. We'll see if we can get our window back here and continue our review. Okay, so what I was about to do was draw a anchored VWAP here to indicate exactly where we are in reference to London's trade here. So bear with me as I try to locate that. Can't find that at the moment. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this review here with London. All right. Okay, so this is the start of London here. So you can see that both our daily VWAP, our anchor VWAP from London, all are pointing to lower prices in this market. Okay, so I would say that headed into this today's session, it does appear that we're maybe getting a little bit of a market shift in the gold market to bearish. You can see here our volume delta bar is also indicating some additional bearish action in this market. Okay. So yeah, so heading into the session, I would say that we need to continue to look for opportunities to the bearish side. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead now and move into the crude oil market. Okay. So we'll start with the yearly chart on that daily chart. Okay. And get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish. Well, I've drawn some of these channels indicating that that looks like we might have received maybe a little bit of a change in attitude, the ad structure or sentiment in this market. Okay, so we have been relatively bearish. Okay, in this market for some time. Market has kind of, I would say, stabilized here around 56, and we've started to get some structure here that would indicate that maybe the market is looking to head higher. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and remove some of these arrows here. Okay. We'll just go ahead and remove all these items in general. We're going to redraw our channel. Okay. That's giving me this kind of indication that maybe there is maybe some further upside opportunities in this market. Okay. So it does appear that we are in the beginnings of maybe a double bottom. Okay. Price has exceeded this bearish range, and we're up against these areas that have been resistant in the past. So assuming that we can get above 64, okay, then I think it does open up the doors for maybe possibilities to get up to as high as 72 or maybe 66. These are a couple of areas that open up if we are able to hold above 64 with some volume. All right. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn off our initial balance range here for a moment. Yeah, kind of take a look here at the charts from a 4-hour perspective, and you can see here that price has made these higher highs and higher lows. Momentum has, I would say, kind of weakened here as we've approached 64. Okay, 64.60. But nonetheless, we still remain in this channel. Okay, to the upside. Okay, indicating that there is a fair amount of opportunity here to the upside in this market. Another level that I'm going to kind of draw in here that I don't want to see price get below if I am going to remain in this bullish view. I do not want to see price get below this level here. Okay, this level here at 62, 61, 62 seems like a reasonable level for price to hold, or if I'm going to remain in this kind of bullish view in the crude oil market. Okay, moving down to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Again, we're going to go ahead and widen out our charts here, make everything as visible as we can here. So we're going to go ahead, and you can see that we are kind of on the lower third of the average session range. We're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here to get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's pricing here. Okay, so there we are. There's our value area. Okay, so we managed to get below. Okay, we opened. We didn't open. We haven't yet opened. Okay, right now we're still technically below. Okay, so it's going to be interesting how we accept this area. Okay, this 63 level could offer us a resistance level. All right, for price to continue to the downside. Okay. Or price could accept this area. Okay. And if it does accept this area, we could be in store for a rally in this market as high as 63.90. Okay. So we're at an interesting juncture, interesting level here in the crude oil market. We'll have to see with the open what the open provides. And again, just as a reminder, today is inventory report, so we have to be wary of that, and we have to be certainly wary of that as we approach that time if we are in any sort of open position. Okay. Right now, as long as price remains below VWAP, I think the path of least resistance is lower. But should we start to break some structure here, break VWAP to the upside, and potentially break above 63.52, then the market could easily turn bullish. Okay, because we are seeing a fair amount of bullish activity here on the left-hand side, and this could be just merely a pullback to a known level here. Okay, known fair price area that could offer us maybe an opportunity for price to move to the upside. Okay. So first things first, we need to wait for this initial balance range to establish. The initial balance has, or the market has indeed opened. So we are just starting to see this initial balance range established. It did open below value. Okay. So the question now becomes, is it going to accept value and rotate through value? Okay. Or is this area going to be an area of rejection and we continue to the downside? So an interesting next half hour, I would say, in this market to see if it indeed what does price do at this 63 level. Okay. Moving on to the let's see. Oh, one last thing I want to draw here. Let me go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP just to get a sense for where London is with all of this. Okay. And you can see that London is also technically prices below that, but it could easily turn bullish here if we do accept value if we do price does accept value from yesterday. Okay. All right. Moving on to the equity markets. So we're going to start to take a look here at the NASDAQ. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the daily chart here. Okay. So again, daily chart, the same kind of move that we were seeing in the gold market bearish, we're seeing in the equity market bullish. Okay. So we've broken some levels here. This was a relatively, I would say, a relatively important level that was broken to the upside. So we're starting to see some structure here that would indicate that maybe there is some room to the upside in this market. I guess, again, most likely related to some of the positive news that we received on the tariffs. We're starting to see a little bit of a rally in this in the markets. Okay. I would still say that this level above here at 20,000, let's call it 22,300, still is a potential area of resistance to price. Okay. But we are starting to move into some bullish structure here in this market. All right. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and open this up here. We're going to turn off our initial balance range. Again, you can see that we created a gap here to start the week, and we have not come back to fill in this gap. On the contrary, we've continued to create structure, indicating that there is further upside upside opportunities in this market. Okay. Nothing really indicating here that there is any sort of indication of weakness here. Right now, we are, with that said, I mean, we are, I guess, to some degree in range. Okay. But we do have a developing, developing bullish candle here. A little bit of cause of concern here that we are seeing a little bit of selling wicks. So there does appear to be some sellers here in the midst. Okay. That maybe potentially would like to drive price maybe lower here. So we'll have to see how this plays out over the course of the session here, and see if this candle does firm up or does it close with this kind of selling wick above. That would be an indication that maybe there might be some sellers in the midst and building up maybe some resources here to drive price lower here. Okay. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. 30-minute chart. Okay. We're kind of hugging the VWAP. I would say kind of losing a little bit of momentum here of late. since the start of yesterday's trade here. We've been in some sort of range price action. Okay. A lot of overlapping candles here. All right. So we're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile, even though market has not officially opened here as of yet. So we'll go ahead and start with Tuesday, drag that across to the close of. Okay, and there we are. Price is inside value, indicating that there is sort of balanced kind of price action underway in this market. We're still about 25 minutes or so away from this market officially opening. All right, so we don't know exactly where this is going to open, but right now, should it open in this area, this is going to be an area of maybe potential balanced price action, possible range price action, possibly waiting for some additional news, maybe waiting for some additional guidance. We do have some reports coming out here tomorrow and Friday. Maybe those are some of the reports that they're kind of waiting on before they decide on which direction they want to take the market here. Okay, so no initial balance range at the moment. Market's still in pre-market. I will add a anchored VWAP here just to get a sense for how London feels about all of this. And London is also looking a little bit to the bullish side. We did make a move above. We are getting a little bit of a pullback, which could provide us maybe an opportunity for an extension, okay, to the upside. That's certainly within the realm of possibilities here, okay? So we got some strong push here in pre-market to the upside. Since then, we've kind of meandered our way back, so this is giving me the indication that maybe price could find a level here right around this 21,260 level that could offer us maybe an opportunity to the upside. Now, should price break below, okay, 21,000, say 260, okay, I'm going to mark this as a supportive area, okay, but should price break below that, then I think it does open the door for maybe for price to revisit some of these areas here, okay. So headed into the market, I would say that I'm cautiously bullish. Okay, cautiously bullish in this market as long as price remains above VWAP, as long as price remains above this 21,260 level. I would say that we have a fair chance for price to continue higher in this market. Okay, we did kind of come off here from a value area high here. Okay, so again, so we did try to push away above value, but that was kind of met with some sellers here. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how this market opens, how this market, whether it does open above value, and how the opening 30 minutes to an hour, how price reacts to this level here. Right now, we're at the point of control. Okay, price agreement, temporary price agreement here. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that in as red. Okay, so this highest, this current level at 21,320 is generating the most volume right now. Okay, indicating that there is a somewhat of price agreement going on between buyers and sellers at these levels. Okay, it's just generating the most volume. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry again. All right. So we'll just finish up our review here, guys. So again, we were just saying, and we were just talking about the NASDAQ. And again, NASDAQ does appear to be in an area where we could maybe continue to see some price movement here to the upside. Let's see. Looks like bear with me, guys. I'm still dealing with some issues, some instability on my system here. Okay, let's see if we can wrap up our NASDAQ review here. Okay, so here we are, NASDAQ. Okay, so as I mentioned, this area here around this anchored VWAP and this daily VWAP is going to be an important level. We have about 50, little under 20 minutes before the market opens. So this area could easily offer us an area here where we can get a push to the upside here. I'm going to wait to see if I do get a break of this trend line to the upside, kind of offer me an opportunity for a bullish trade in this market. Um, so that's kind of what I have for you for the Nasdaq. Let's go ahead and move into the ES here. All right, so looking at the ES, we're going to again look at the daily here. Looking at the daily, again, similar to what we were seeing in the NASDAQ, we are seeing a fair amount of interest here to the upside in this market. We've actually broken some levels here, broken some price structure here to the left. We've broken the 5,800 level, and now we're kind of working our way towards the 5,900. Okay, we're above that as well. Okay, so market does appear to be somewhat bullish. Okay, we have a gap. Okay, this gap here around 5,700. Price has remained above that 5,700. We broke some structure to the left side. So all indications right now appear to be that we are entering in somewhat of a bullish market here. All right. For our chart, okay, for our chart again, starting to maybe consolidate here a little bit, although we are developing rather strong bullish candle here on the 4-hour chart. I guess my only kind of cause of concern here, we do see that we have some selling wicks above here, although the sellers have not been able to make any sort of hold on this market. They are very much present. Okay, so we do remain in some sort of range here in this market. Okay, we do have a developing bullish candle here, indicating that there is still a fair amount of interest to the upside in this market. Okay, so we'll take a look at the 30-minute chart. We'll go ahead and open this up here. Again, we're about 15 minutes away from the open. We have been in some sort of range since the Tuesday here. Nothing's really changed. We're going to go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile here for the start of Tuesday. Okay, so there we have it. We're going to drag that across to the close of Tuesday here. Okay, you can see that price remains in value from yesterday, remains in balance from yesterday, and we're right at similar to the Nasdaq, right, right at the point of control here, the area where the greatest amount of volume has been traded here. Okay, right at this 59.14 level. Okay, so as long as price can remain above 5,900. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw this line here. I would say that the line in the sand for me is this 5,900 level. Okay, as long as we can remain above 5,900, then I would say that we have a fair chance that for the market to continue higher. Okay. Um, okay. And then maybe potentially reach some of these ASR levels that average session range to high levels that I have established here at 59.50. Okay. So that's kind of one last thing I'm going to add here is our anchor VWAP, just to give me a sense of where London is with all of this. And I suspect it is also is going to match up with what we have for our daily VWAP. And sure enough, we do. Okay, price remains above those. So as long as price remains above, then I would say that the view is still above. Now, area of interest here is the fact that we are still within value area high. So value area high could offer us some resistance, okay, to price and cause price to reverse. So interesting levels, similar to interesting levels that we had in the crude oil market. We'll have to wait and see what the market brings on the open, okay. But if we do manage to get above value area high with some volume, that could lead us to another leg higher in this market. Otherwise, the chances we continue in range, maybe the fact that there is still a fair amount of news remaining for the close of the week, there might be some interest in waiting for that news to come out and percolate through the market before any sort of significant move is made in the markets. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the last market here, and that is going to be the Dow. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the daily chart. Okay, looking at the daily chart, You can see here that market has probably not quite as strong as some of the other equity markets that we've seen so far. Okay, the Dow. Okay, but nonetheless, we are sloping higher. Okay, we've left a gap that has yet to be filled. So this area down below here at 41,600, 41,650 is going to be an area I would expect to be supportive. Okay, we are coming into some areas where we have found sellers here in the past around 43,000. I would expect that that could be an area that could be somewhat resistant to price. Okay, so that's an area that to be aware of as well. And then moving down to the 4 hour. Okay, 4 hour chart. Again, you can see that we are continuing to make higher highs and higher lows in this market. We have a developing, bullish candle here, a bullish engulfing candle being developed here. We'll have to see in the next 40 minutes how this candle closes. But if we do get a break, let's say of this area here, okay, let's say that this candle does indeed close as it maybe above this channel area, then this could offer us maybe a potential leg to the upside. Okay. So right now we're in some sort of consolidation. All right. Some sort of retracement level of some sort. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move into the 30-minute chart and get a sense for where we are with that. Okay. Again, you can see that we remain in this kind of bearish channel. Okay. We're starting to see some signs here that it's looking to maybe potentially break above it. I would say that it needs to get above 42,315. Okay, this is kind of the level that I'm seeing here developing. If we do manage to get above 42,315, then I would say that we have a fair chance to maybe potentially get to some of these highs here at 42,450, maybe as high as 42,500. Okay, let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here and take a look and see where price is in relation to yesterday's price, yesterday's action here, and so we can see here that we are below. Okay, we are below, or actually just made it into value here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and extend this value area line. So this is value area low again. Interesting area for price to be. Okay, so if we do manage to close inside value or open inside value, then I think there is a fair chance that we could rotate through value all the way as high as maybe as high as 42,400. Okay, so interesting level here uh, in the um, in the Dow at the moment. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and actually color this in green now that we've actually closed above it. So we're going to have marked this area in green. So we're going to go ahead now and just going to go through quickly through each of the markets since they've had this interruption here. So looking at the gold going into the market, I would say is looking quite bearish. Okay, so I would say that we need to continue to look for opportunities to the bearish side. Okay, certainly any pullback to VWAP or anything along those kind of lines could offer us some sort of continuation trade to the downside. Crude oil, outside of the fact that we have EIA reports, is starting to look a little bit bullish. We had an opening 30-minute candle that is on the bullish side, but honestly, we're really not out of the woods on the bears here. We still haven't really broken any structure here to the upside. I would say that we really need to get above 63.52 before we can really change the sentiment of this market. And then lastly, the Nasdaq. Okay, so we'll let the Nasdaq kind of be representative of the equity markets. So you can see here that I've already drawn my trend line here right around value area high. So if we do manage to close above this level, that could offer us, and we are currently developing a bullish candle right up against the VWAP here. So that could indeed offer us maybe a leg higher in this market. Okay. So that's what I have for you guys. I do apologize for all the technical difficulties today. I didn't manage to get through the session here. So again, I do want to thank you guys that did join. Hit the likes and subscribes as you exit the session, and as we close all our sessions. Trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Have an excellent session today, and we'll talk again soon.